it's Vergil. So in this one, I'm going to be going over and reacting to the community's responses to my post on Twitter where I asked, was this the best anniversary? And you'll let me know before we do dive into this video, do you guys believe that this was the best anniversary? So in the comment section, you can feel free to drop your opinion. I'm going to be going through some of those as well. And be honest with me, you don't really need to, agree or disagree, because I'm going to give my personal takes in this video as well. But we do have, all these opinions, and I'm going to be going through majority of them and giving you guys my initial thoughts when reading them. So make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you guys are new, and let me know if I should do more videos like this, or even if you want to be involved, make sure to go follow me on X. But, yeah, the first one here from BLZ, my guy, he says, honestly, tough to say. I feel like the 5th anniversary is more consistent with every part. I really appreciated the variety of different characters we got, but looking at this image, the lineup is actually insane. 5th anniversary was phenomenal. It's, it's a no-brainer. Definitely a great selection. I mean, we had Go Frieza, Piccolo, Gammas, and VB. Like, come on, man. It's really hard to beat. I mean, this year, we take a look at the roster for this year. We're having 3 different fusion characters. Godku, the 1% were tough. The free-to-play character. This might be, like, in terms of character drops, like he said here, it is definitely tough to say. But he said could be either one, but I'm going with 5th. It's definitely a respectable take. And he did just mention, based off the character releases, I think I'd still probably go with this anniversary in terms of hype value. Having 3 fusion characters, and they're not all like like a Zamasu or like a villain character. They're literally Goku and Vegeta fusion characters, which is like pinnacle of hype when it comes to this franchise. Dragon Ball, G4, Super Vegito, Gogeta. Bro, how are they gonna top this for 7th anniversary? I have no idea. I mean, personally. Moving on to the next one here, we have people need to chill with the Sun Family narrative. These units are not meant to be all run together like in the festival due to the Z abilities. Also, Sun Family isn't even the best team. The best only team we've had movies dominating for a while, and then Majin Buu Saga, now Fusion Warriors. I agree with this somewhat, right? There's one thing when it comes to Sun Family characters being the main characters or like the spotlight, whether it's Gohan, whether it's Goku, and it's really just them two for Sun Family. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of tags revolving around them. I mean, pretty much everyone here on this premium, LF Ultra lineup, except G4, is considered a Sun Family character, but he's completely correct. All the main teams that you're seeing with these units are fusions. Ultimate Gohan, I mean, to be fair, it really is Sun Family, or Majin Buu Saga. I'm very surprised the way that they developed Majin Buu Saga for this anniversary. I think it was a great way to kind of make that a real team, a real tag with Evil Buu, with Zenkai Kid Buu, and a lot of other stuff. But then again, they could all be ran on Sun Family. It's just how it is. Whether you want to have Gohan lead, run the double fusion, Sun Family is a super stacked tag. So it's, both statements are correct. Realistically, there's a bunch of diversified overlapping tags, but Sun Family is getting buffed no matter what. And it's just how it is, and I don't really have too much of a problem with it as long as you're able to run other teams. There's so many other options, and there really is in this meta. I could name 5 different teams off the top of my head. 30 plus playable, usable characters. Even in the higher ranks, you could still get by using certain characters as long as you have maybe even at least one of the new units. Or, bro, I've been seeing free to play 18 very common. Evil Buu is super common until Gogeta 4 came out. Beerus might be the disappointment of this anniversary, but I'm gonna say this. There's a whole lot going on right now in terms of meta and the health for the game. I don't think any of the releases for this anniversary were extremely toxic or, over gapping the rest of the other top characters in the game or resetting the meta, stuff like that. Variety, team diversity, these are all things that are currently present in the game, which I do find really nice for the 6th anniversary. So part 2 was just so bad. Really? Released a unit people wanted that was countered immediately. Yeah, that was unfortunate. By the other unit, by the other unit and part 3, we got another Gohan no one asked for instead of a future buff. Yeah, I do agree with God Goku. See, I'm still a God Goku defender. I definitely think he's overhated. He's a pretty solid unit overall. in the sense of, releasing Ultimate Gohan, what he is in comparison to God Goku does make him seem a lot. If they reversed the roles, it would have been crazy. But then again, nobody would have summoned for Gohan in that case, right? I just think God Goku's more of a hype character than Ultimate Gohan, and that's the, the decision making to get people to summon on both banners. But he should have been maybe a tad better to be able to compete now when G4 is running around, because green characters are... I mean, look at Ultra Gohan. He was the top of the game for, a couple of months, and now he's on his way out of the top 10, and you might think that's crazy. You might not agree with that take, but it's just facts. I mean, Ultra Gohan is not doing too hot right now. I think individually he's still one of the best, easily one of the best characters in the game. It's just when you got fusions, like literally the top 3 fusion characters, fusing Super Vegito and Gogeta Blue alongside G4, all 3 of them have very powerful ways to counter Ultra Gohan, whether that's through the rush mechanic, the assault gauge, or the assault chain, and the Gogeta 4 is literally purple. So the one shot or whatever the case is, even the blue card doesn't take the doesn't get stopped by the blast armor, the anti-blast armor, because the blue card doesn't have blast armor. So just multiple ways to counter Ultra Gohan at the current moment. But he's not wrong. I think Future deserves a buff heavily. Don't think Part 2 is bad, honestly. It could have made God Goku better, and that was pretty much it. Don't think it was bad in terms of hype either. I think a lot of people were very happy that we actually got God Goku. So, yeah. We move on. A lot of new stuff for the 6th anniversary. Good anniversary overall, in my opinion, except the 6 emergency maintenances and the servers. I think that's one of the biggest issues we can all agree on, is that in terms of hype value, this might be the peak. Like, this might be... I genuinely don't know what they can do next year to really top this, but I'm sure they're going to find a way, whether that's dropping like 2 ultras, whether they're dropping, whatever they decide to do for next year. But this was a banger of an anniversary in terms of character releases, hype value. I think it was so fire. But overall, I did like the anniversary. New things are always nice. 5th anniversary compared to 6 is a good debate, but 6 clears. Agreed. I will definitely stand on this as well. And given I am a huge Go Frieza fan, I mean, you guys, know that, right? If you've been following the channel, Go Frieza, enjoyer, Frieza in general. VB was super sick, and then the superhero characters are sick. 5th was a banger, bro, but it's really hard to pick the 5th over the 6th, considering what we got. Easily agree. This is a clear scenario when more meant better. Every unit released was good. Yes, God or Goku should have been better and is dead due to the 2 new purples, but the only bad thing is you can really say is maybe Gohan wasn't anniversary worthy. I don't even think that's an argument. I think Gohan was, a lot of people are going to think that, but in terms of options, right, they've gone through so many of the options already, in Gohan as a character, I think it was a solid part. Maybe not to lead, definitely not to headline. He was an oddball, and it's, yes, you can consider arguable if he was worthy or not, but I'd say he's a solid option as a premium, right? Ultimate Gohan, he played a huge role in the Buu saga, probably one of, if not the strongest characters to fight against Buu, and they made him really OP. So I think it was cool. I mean, obviously it's Gohan Ball Legends, they're gonna cook. They could have made his animations maybe a little bit better for the Gohan, but other than that, I think it was pretty solid. Me personally, this anniversary wasn't the best, but it's not for reasons that people may think. The one thing that stopped this anniversary from being the best was simply the maintenances. Okay, so that's what we could get back to. I forgot. This guy mentioned the maintenances here. I agree. The server issues, the maintenances, I was going to touch on that, and I kept going on, and I read the, the 5th versus 6th anniversary debate, but that is a huge, massive thing with this anniversary. These servers have been super janky lately. People getting stuck in different region servers where there's just so much lag, there's so many bugs, there's still so many bugs in the actual gameplay that have been here even before the anniversary started, right? The clash glitch, a lot of the swap into a character and you can't vanish step glitch, literally no inputs working, or just like plain old lag, bro. Server lag, disconnections, draw hacking's back. and then the maintenances, right? The server overloads to the point where the game was unplayable for a lot of the releases, a couple of Zenkais, a couple random update nights where the game went down, or even I think on the original release of the God Goku Gohan, that entire night, units dropped and the servers went down. Like, yes, it's hype, anniversary characters. We would still like to play the game, so if you know, they have to be prepared for these moments to where we can actually enjoy, you know, the game and play the game. So the maintenance is unfortunate. I'm glad they did compensate us with CCs. He says, which they provided CCs, so he's not mad. But the app crashing for some, otherwise for 9 out of 10, that's another thing. App crashing, I've been getting so many things about this, and I wouldn't know what to say about it because my app doesn't crash. It only happens for certain people on certain devices, and I thought it was going to be for older phones, and then I'm getting reports of it being on iPhone 15s, which is like superior phones than even I have, 15s, or even just, it could be on any device where the app is just simply crashing, people getting punished in rank for it, having timeouts for multiple hours. That's just not enjoyable. Not only can you not play the game, but you're being punished for something you have no control over. So say if you do have an old phone, I get it, upgrade, but if you're, you know, up to date, your app shouldn't be crashing. These are bugs that need to be like touched, fixed. Like, they have to acknowledge this. Like, they have to get to the bottom of this, because how are people going to let go of, like, you know, being invested or even spending or caring about the game if you gonna have consistent issues like app crashes? So yeah, let me know if this is happening to you guys in the comments. Said for me, I haven't had app crashes. It was happening to me for a little while, maybe a year plus ago, and then they patched something to where it doesn't happen on my phone whatsoever. But I'd probably be super demotivated to grind if I'm getting punished from ranked because of the game crashing. Like, other than that, the maintenances, the lag, server issues, bugs, all-time high. I think, yeah, that has been a big detriment to this anniversary. Overall hype has been great, but the actual playable factor, when there's so much distaste and the game's literally severe, atrocious lag, it's just not fun to play. And it's it might be for the wrong reasons too. I do think people are stuck in servers that are not their own, right? Goresh was mentioning this a little while ago, I think on his X page, that he keeps matching people from North America while he's currently living in Japan, because that's where his account originated. And if that's the case, there's going to be lag in every single game. And I don't think that's the case for my account. I still experience the lag issues. Like, it's very common. So I could only imagine for that severity of being stuck in different servers, different regions. Really, really something that has to be talked on. And that's why I'm giving my opinion on it right now. So this guy says it's the second best for me. Part 2 really drags it down when compared to part 1 and part 2. Okay, I feel like, yeah, a lot of people are going to have that opinion. If you really want to like nitpick or be specific to the part 2, I mean, part 1 and part 3 always clear. You have to start out with a banger, end with a banger. Part 2 is supposed to be that calm middle. Don't think it was bad, but if you had higher expectations for it, it's understandable. Yes, best part 1 of any celebration ever. Agree. Really good part 2 for me as an Ultimate Gohan fan. Plus Godku was hype. Agree. Part 3 was absolutely one of, if not the most awaited Ultra of all time. The anniversary hands down beats the 5th vibe. I'm down for it. I like this opinion. I think this was a really good one in terms of hype. This was my first anniversary played. I really liked the introduction of the fusing mid-battle mechanic. Great way to, you know, every celebration or so, they add new mechanics into the game, and this was one of the more anticipated ones where you're having a tag character fuse into a different unit, and they've done it really, really well. Like, the animations are sick, it's not too long, very aesthetically pleasing, and the actual, you know, the way you want to use these characters are also really fun as well. I didn't see the hype with LF Godku, but with Gohan, yeah, because another counter to Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Gohan Ball Legends, baby, and Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was the icing on the cake. Ultra Han is completely countered by fusions right now, so, you know, he's holding on to a thin thread until the fusions actually get countered, or Sun Family gets like a super, you know, believe it or not, Sun Family needing a super buff is crazy, right? You really got to think about it. What would it take for Ultra Gohan to get stupid value again? I don't even know at this point, because individually he's cracked, but he's genuinely countered hard by the Fusions team. No, but it had the potential to be the best by a mile. Part 1 can arguably be called the best Part 1 in Legends history, and 2 was a disappointment since the units really weren't hype and animation failed to meet the standards. If only Part 2 was LF Zom and Mod Vegeta, I think this could have been a good pick as well. It was part of the speculations involved, Zamasu, or even like a tag Goku Black and Zom. I was personally speculating that, but they're definitely going to be saving a more synchro, fusing type tag characters for other celebrations. I don't think they're going to drop everything all at once just to keep the ball rolling, you know. But don't think Part 2 was intended to, you know, even match or clear Part 1 and 3. That's really what in my opinion, the standard is supposed to be, a hype but neutralized part, because, you know, the start and bangers, but the middle, it has to kind of maintain. So say if you didn't like those characters, understandable. It's really more biased than anything. I'm not like crazy God Goku or Ultimate Gohan fan, but I could definitely appreciate it for what it was. I can't like not respect this opinion though. It's what this person likes. I feel you, bro. But he did agree that the Part 1 was massive. I don't know how they're going to top the Part 1 for next year. Let's be real. Fusing Super Vegeta. Let's just really think about that. Fusing Super Vegito and fusing Gogeta Blue for Part 1. Insane. Insane. Okay, Part 1, literally 0 complaints. Part 2, horrible choices. Damn. Everyone's hating on the Part 2. The unit should have been Majin Vegeta. So this is what that previous person said. Majin Vegeta, Fusion, Zom, literally what he said. Nice Ultra, but would have been nice to have at least a 1% sparking. Okay, so I'm assuming a lot of people are going to have this exact opinion. Part 1 was, you know, unstoppable. Part 3 was pretty standard, just 1 Ultra. Don't think they're planning to not only... I don't think they're planning to change Ultra banners and give us more. You know, it's been a couple of celebrations at this point, and they have a standard for it. I'm wondering when they're going to release a different format, a pity system, or even, you know, adding a different new character on Ultra banners would be nice, because they're not good value. Like, even the featured LFs on the banner were atrocious. So, but it was expected. So nothing really out of the ordinary here. I think it's just a preference, maybe like a biased character release for the Part 2 for most people. So I guess people don't like horrible choices. I think people were anticipating God Goku for a long time. So honestly, objectively speaking, I believe it is with the new elemental units. The first dark type character. Yep, first person to mention that. I think it really was a good introduction. New mechanics and unique features appearing. I'm a little bit mixed with the I understand why they didn't drop anything like for Giblet. He wasn't like in any transformation or anything. They're really just trying to milk it, and he is a solid overall free to play. Don't think he's great, honestly, but he can be used. He's, you know, good enough to be, you know, just to mess around and have fun with. I'm speaking in terms of like higher rank, actually usable at max stars, just for fun, nothing really competitive. But I think it's a good start in terms of having a new elemental character. New mechanics and unique features appearing. Personally, yes, strictly due to getting a GT unit that isn't just viable, but finally a new Ultra unit as well, and will be relevant for years to come in PvP. I hope so. Getting a lot of mixed opinions on the way Gogeta 4 is, because he is very squishy. And, you know, longevity speaking, his mechanic does seem good to the point where he will age well. Having a unique gauge of that, like, safety net, the amount of healing, especially on the Fusions team, I can understand why he was made that way. There's so much HP to go around. He has so many equipment options. He has so much going for him. And even in a team dynamic perspective, like, right, he has GT, leader slot. Fusions is the main comp, but Saiyans, like whatever you want to run him, he has a lot of overlapping tags that are just going to go well for a long time. So I could see him being strong for at least a minimum half a year to a year. But with the way power creep has been, and it's just up and down, like some units last, some units don't last. You've seen what happened to Bomku just a couple of months ago. He released, he was great, and then out of nowhere, he vanished, and whoa, he's back out of nowhere. So units come and go with value. I think the same thing will happen with Ultra Gohan. I think the same thing will happen with a lot of other LFs and ultra rarity characters. It's just going to depend on the meta, what units will get countered, what units will return based off of their mechanics or their functionality being useful again. think the majority would have accepted 1 LF, then 2 would have been helped. Wait, I think the majority would have accepted 1 LF, then 2 would have helped support the CMZ and TV more. They've become outliers in the meta. TV never intended to be like a top factor in the meta. With the way that they release platinum equipments is just to make them usable again. It's how it is. TV getting a platinum equipment that were never really intended to really make a impact. CMZ, great. CMZ, I don't even think needs to be support the CMZ. I don't think he has everything, right? He has the God Key support. He has the powerful opponent support. So many powerful opponent options. He has the fusion support on Fusion Warriors. He's literally a top option. So CMZ was great. The what if tag unit we had come up with this community would have been better. Arguable. We don't really know what it would have been, so can't really say it would have been better. Part 2 is the main flaw. Gohan, God Goku, lackluster. Common, pretty basic, trend right here. So we're getting that in a lot of comments that people not really feeling the part 2. I don't really know what to say about it because it's just a preference. Like, people are not liking what the animations or the God Goku luster. Gohan's phenomenal. It was a neutral part 2. It wasn't anything over the top, but it was a pretty solid drop, in my opinion. Like, pretty solid. I mean, when you compare it, I guess, to the Gammas and Orange Piccolo, then maybe, because, yeah, we just got the movie the year before, so we were really hyped that we got characters in the game based off the films. But yeah, I mean, it's just a preference, right? I respect the opinion. So we got Stake here. If they had working servers, and yes, the biggest thing, I would just like to see this game playable. They did a phenomenal job with hype, with releases, with resources, with everything they dropped. So much LFZ power to go around. Unfortunately, I got shafted like super hard, so that was like a detriment in my head. Like, you're getting shafted, you're just probably not having fun in general. But fortunate enough to be making content, and the support on the channel, I was able to summon a lot. So I still overall got the copies and everything I needed to play the game. Took so much more than intended, but that's definitely a luck thing. I think when it comes to the one main detriment of the anniversary was having working servers, right? So the maintenance issues, the lag, the bugs, everything that makes the game unplayable, that is a problem. That's something that needs to be, mentioned, recognized, and fixed. I completely agree. The game crashes. How can people enjoy if they're being punished and timed in ranked for something they have no control over, especially if they have updated devices, iPhone 15s? That's ridiculous, man. So no, it wasn't really. No, it wasn't like overall. Part 1 was hype with both new fusions with the mechanic, but they made, wait, you guys see this? Okay, sweet. Just want to make sure because I'm looking at this a different monitor. Part 1 was hype with both new fusions with the mechanic, but they made the game unfun. Really? Fusions made the game unfun? I mean, if you're not using them, obviously, if you're not keeping up and you're not running a meta, you're probably getting packed up. It's just how it is. There's any meta in the game. If you're not, you're trying to run something else, you have, disadvantage, etc., right? If you're using the best units of the game, you're having more of a fun time. It's just how it is. Part 2 and Part 3 were fine. Okay, so someone that likes Part 2. Okay, this dude's just hating on the Part 1 fusions because they're broken. They are too OP and toxic, which made PvP the core of the game pretty unbearable. Content-wise, it was an A+. I can respect the opinion. I agree. Content-wise, it was really good. This guy's just not having fun with the new future. Let me know. This is another question to kind of debate in the comment section. Was the Part 1 fusions toxic? In my opinion, my personal opinion, no. I think it's just a new meta introduces new mechanics and things you have to play around and against. In terms of toxicity, like an Ultra Gohan might have been the most toxic release in a long time, where it's like, he literally plays the game for you, auto counter, gauge, the strike gauge, the blue card counter, everything, the AoE green card, the anti-blast armor, like last man standing, like multiple vanish. Dude, when you have a character that's doing too much like that, in terms of like, you can't play or counter it, card sealing, those are like toxic mechanics. When it comes to USV, or not USV, FSV, it's the Rising Rush. Rising Rush, toxic. Yes, you can argue that, but in my opinion, Gogeta Blue is hella balanced for a top unit. He's one of the best units in the game, but in terms of toxic mechanics with the assault chain, literally a counter for characters that have the gauge, so he's countering those toxic characters. I'm assuming this player's running Gohans and, you know, a couple of the characters that released previously, so they do heavily counter those units. In terms of toxicity, don't know if it's up there. Definitely powerful mechanics, but toxic. I think like Paralyze. I'm thinking card seals. I'm thinking things that allow you to not play the, like, you can't do anything about. So, but that's an opinion to be discussed in the comments. I like it was my first anniversary that didn't shaft you. Headliner, at least I got ultra. Yo, nice pulls, bro. And you enjoyed it. That's sick. Getting better every year. Game is great. Currently, PvP is more fun than ever. Almost. I agree. I mean, you know, in terms of, you know, the game progressing, the game's getting better for people that can play it. I think the server thing and the playable nature, that needs to be, you know, mentioned. But in terms of just overall what the game was intended to be, the meta is fresh. The mechanics are forever evolving. You know, I like where the game's headed. We got 2 different game modes to choose. They definitely need to update that as well. Maybe make Proud and Standard having separate leaderboards would be sick, or having it be fair in terms of grinding the ladder would be great. But I think the game is progressively getting better and not worse. How maybe some people would like to believe is getting worse. I don't know how. The best Annie, they probably won't be able to top this. Let's see. I mean, we can't really say until we see it. In terms of hype and money, it will be difficult for them to do better. I think this is a peak. Right now, I would genuinely like to believe they have something up their sleeve for next year. First time that Legends has made so much in such a short period of time. Well, we all knew that would happen with the Double Fusion and Ultra Fusion. Vegeta, Gogeta are the best Dragon Ball money makers after all. Hype value is through the roof. Number one, I think that's like a 90+% agreement rate. Most people think that this part 1, or just the in general part, or 6th anniversary as a whole, hype value is up. No way people think part 2 is bad. Godku alone would make part 2 hype enough. I think we have to really go back and remember this. For the people that are not hype about God Goku, he was a literal main speculation for a headlining character. So if he could even be speculated for the headlining character for part 1, they blew that out of the water, right? Dropping double fusions, that's way better of an option. But the fact that he was even mentioned, I think people are underselling God Goku too, because I'm almost sure they were tapped in with the community on what they wanted and used him as a part 2 option, which he was already speculated for a headline release. That shows you how hype, or how many people genuinely wanted God Goku. So even more hype because people think part 2 is bad. It's another Gohan. It's the second ult Gohan from Buu Saga, and pretty underrepresented, I would agree. But yes, this anniversary is the best. Great opinion, man. Definitely out of the ordinary, some common sense going on here. I think just in general, this is a really good one because there's no bias. No bias. You know, obviously, people are going to add their bias in their opinions. That's what an opinion is. But this guy's just saying, for the game in general, Ultimate Gohan's underrepresented, God Goku's underrepresented, and I think the only thing you can really complain about is how overshadowed God Goku is right now. Just being a green unit and just individually. Part 1 was great. The rest was meh. A bunch of glitches, maintenances, released that. Bingo. Released yet another Gohan unit who's stupidly broken and made Goku mid. G4 was expected. It's pretty much a classic instance of you don't have the unit, you just don't play the game. I don't know about not play the game. There's a lot of options right now, but yeah, there's a couple of different top teams meta that you can be running, but it's tough. Without G4, he's an insane field control character, so if you're not running him, it's going to be a little bit of a nuisance for other teams. I think this Annie added many more possibilities with the new fusion mechanic, plus the plat for Omega finally provided a buff for possibly the older unit. Yes, thank you. First person has mentioned the Omega plat. Great buff for GT. I think they did a really good job with him, considering he doesn't have a Zenkai. It's the first platinum equipment in a long time to make a unit viable, not just usable in PvP. I think Omega is a top option for GT right now, whether that's G4 Omega, Baby, Bomku, even in Proud mode, right? Omega is a phenomenal option. As a free-to-play character with a plat like that, we can expect good things from plats in the future. Older Ultra units, and who knows, maybe even old LFs in theory. Overall, I do think it's the second best celebration behind. So he does think 5th is better. Solid. I think it's either 5th or 6th. I'm going to just say 6 by a mile. But in terms of the way that the game, I mean, it's been, server issues have been always for years in the game. So I can't really say this one's worse than that one when literally we've had issues with the online feature for forever. So it's just how it is. Sometimes it's working really perfect. Sometimes it's laggy. It just feels really bad at this current moment. So that's my main issue with this anniversary. In terms of, you guys have already know, like in terms of everything else, everything drops, resources, rewards, hype. It's hard to top this anniversary. I'm gonna say 5th Annie had it pretty close though. It's not far off. I got stuck in that thought, but they had it pretty close. It was the best anniversary, but if they didn't put more Boo Saga themes in part 2, then it'd be the best anniversary, because I think the theme of Fusion Warriors, right, plus Legends, was God Goku banner. I don't know if they really did overdid the Boo Saga theme, just because they didn't have a team prior. Like, giving more Boo Saga value for part 2 just solidified it being a legitimate team in the game, which I think is great. I think it went well. It coexisted with the free-to-play unit. It gave us an LF. It gave us another 1%. It just gave us a whole proud team. Boo Saga being a team, part 2 needed to be Boo Saga for that to be the completion of. They had a plan to make that a drop. If it's not like part of your preference, I understand that. But in terms of just, I think Boo Saga definitely deserved the buff. Notice how for the past 2 major celebrations, we had a God Tier part 1 only for a part 2, part 3 clutching up. I mean, just part 2. It's a neutralized state. Don't think it was bad. Let's see if they go 3 for 3 for Legends Fest this year. Okay. I'm always here to see to hope that good things do release and longevity characters do release as well. Worst part 2, not even God Goku could bring it back, is crazy. Now they've gone, my boy officially can say this is an absolute best. Okay, so this guy didn't get shafted, right? He's got the blue boys. He's got Gogeta 4. He's having a blast, man. Love to see it. No, I think the part 2 of this anniversary wasn't cool. I don't think that Ultimate Gohan isn't a character for the okay. I mean, it's an opinion. They literally destroyed the only good God Goku in two damn weeks. Not saying he's bad, but really, okay, fair enough. Yeah, one of the opinions, common opinions here. Okay, in my opinion, yes, the lineup of characters was so fun and exciting. I agree. For me, this anniversary was good aside from the part 2. Okay, everybody, aside from the part 2, yes, server issues on the bright side. So a lot of similarities. It's close. Content-wise, I'd say it's about equal. Easily between the 5th and 6th. Yeah, 6th anniversary was pretty good. Enjoyed it. I think 5th was better. So debates between 5th and 6th. Let me know in the comment section. Was 5th or was 6th better? Another solid debate to go on in this video comments. 5th anniversary was the best, and it isn't close. It isn't close. With part 1 of this Cell thought this would be my part 1. Wait, my number 1, but part 2 was just so bad that G4 also feels way less hyped than he should be. This is an interesting opinion. I don't think this is a common one here. I know this individual because he's part of my community, and I think this is a unique opinion. Definitely biased, but I can respect it because it's just something he'd prefer it to be, right? But I think this is interesting. I think this is something that probably some people do feel G4 also feels less hype. Is that true? Do y'all agree with that? I think he was around what he was meant to be. I don't think he was more hype or less hype than my expectations for him. So when I seen him, we already knew he was coming. I was speculating / confirming the release before he even came out because of, hints and things here and there. But even with me knowing he was going to come out, I still had a pretty hype experience from his reveal and from even right now using him. So let me know, but this is probably where I'd end up. I see a lot of mixed opinions here, but if I did end up reading your post for this video, let me know in the comment section of this video. I did read, we're like 35 minutes in. I most likely won't cut this video, so you guys want to be involved or a chance to be involved in the next video, check me out. Follow me on X. I usually post every day or every other day on just random stuff, mostly DBL stuff. But love everybody. Stay frosty. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Up all night, so you don't wanna wait on me. I'm about to catch my flight, so you don't gotta wait on me. No